Hey, this is Pastor Benjamin again, coming to you live at the end of a hard work day, just painting away. Coming with another in real life kind of faith life metaphor shorts. So it's the end of the day, and I haven't noticed this until just recently. I've got this awesome pair of shoes I wear. See if we can see these here. They're old school Merrells. I only work with these Merrell shoes, and they're really strong. They've got Vibrams. They've got Vibram soles to them. They've got really, really good kind of exterior support. And what I've noticed is that every single day I put them on and I go to the job site, I tie them pretty tight. I'm on ladders, I'm on scaffolding, I'm on all sorts of generally unstable ground. Put a nice little double knot in them, and that's it for the rest of the day. Tie them both pretty darn tight. And I love it because it makes it stable. Rarely twist my ankles, my feet don't shift around. But here's what I just noticed the other day, actually today, probably every single day. So I get in my car, turn it on, and I'm just like tired and ready to get going. And I start driving and I notice that my feet start hurting. And the reality is what happens throughout my day is I tie my shoes tight, they serve my need all day long, and then when I stop, the throbbing, I kind of become aware of the throbbing. I become aware of the pain a little bit. And there have been times when I'm like, I got to pull over and untie them if I'm in traffic, or if I'm driving okay on the highway, just kind of hold on to the steering wheel and untie them with one hand and switch. And if you've ever untied a double knot with one hand, you know it's not very easy. So it got me thinking. It got me thinking that throughout the day, when I'm involved and busy and kind of kicking butt and moving pretty fast, I don't notice how tight and uncomfortable my shoes are. I don't notice the pain. And it got me thinking about life in general, that so often we can be involved, busy, moving at a certain clip in life that we don't notice certain areas that might need attention. You could take it to the pain I experience with my shoes. Is we don't notice a little area of pain in our life because the hamster wheel is just going fast. I'm telling you, all day long, I don't notice that my feet are hurting. But when I get in the car and I shut down and I'm driving home, I notice that my feet are far too tight, and I don't like to drive that way. I don't like to be that way. I'm like, I just want to shut down and relax, and my feet are bothering me. And I feel like it's really that way in life. When we are far too busy, when things are just moving, we don't notice that maybe there's a little bit of pain somewhere. There's a little bit of difficulty, a little bit of challenge. There's something that just needs attention, and our lives are far too full. They're far too busy, and sometimes that equates with far too loud. Like if my life is busy, that sometimes equates with noisiness, and I can't hear God, or I can't hear what's going on in my head, my heart, or the things around me. My life is far too consumed with some things that I'm not aware of the pain. Some of us might have relationships that need attention, but we're too busy to address them. Sometimes we might need some reconciliation, we might need healing, we might need to just be a little bit more aware of something in the corner of our house or the corner of our life that needs attention. But there's so much going on, maybe we're not aware of it, or maybe we don't want to address it. It got me thinking about a little book I recommend to all of you. It's called My Heart, My Home by Robert Munger. He's an author, a speaker, and a pastor. My Heart, Christ Home, Robert Munger. And I feel like busyness or not being able to address and be aware of certain areas in our life can kind of come across in two ways. One, there's mess or stuff that we're just not aware of that needs attention, or we're just not aware of God's amazing love, His character, God's heart that wants to sort of invade our space, and we're just moving too fast to be able to be aware of that. So in Munger's book, he addresses my heart, Christ's home. He looks at our whole life and our whole body as Christ's home. So it's as if we've invited God into our house to live and occupy each area of our life. And there's two specific areas of the house that kind of relate to our shoes, or my tight shoes, and us not being able to address certain areas of our life or just be aware of certain areas of our life. So there's the closet and there's the living room. And the closet is like where we stuff stuff, where we hide stuff, where there's things we might be awkward about, annoyed with, embarrassed by, full of shame by. And I would equate that to the tight shoe pain, if you will. I'm not aware of the pain in my life or the closet because I'm just moving too fast, or I've shoved it away and don't want to deal with it. And the fact that Jesus has sort of taken occupation of our bodies or our lives, God's saying, you know what? Just open up the closet. And I don't know what's in the closet, and you're just afraid of stuff just pouring off the shelves like we've seen in movies, you know? You open up the closet, and it's like where we've stuck everything. And God's saying, open up the closet. Like, I specialize in renovation. I specialize in cleaning out the closet. I specialize in junk removal. And even if the junk is always going to be there, I specialize in helping you with the junk. So there's the closet. There's the shoe pain, if you will, that's blocked and sheltered by us moving too fast. But when we stop and actually address the pain, we look at it and we think, oh my goodness, life's too tight. But then there's the living room. And in the book, the character of the story, he's leaving for the evening or leaving for work, but he's basically sort of exiting the house, and he's got to walk through the living room to the front door. And one day he's walking, pardon all the noise, there's people weed whacking. Real life situation, right? So he's leaving the house. I'll move to another section. He's leaving the house and he's walking down the steps. He's walking out the hallway, and he walks out of the living room, and he notices in the living room that Jesus is sort of just hanging out in the rocking chair. And he looks at Jesus, and Jesus looks at him, and there's silence. But it's almost as if Jesus says, you've invited me into your house, but you're not spending time with me. You're walking right by me in your living room, who's stopped and sat and almost brought up another chair to say, man, I love you. I want to spend time with you. Won't you just pause, untie your shoes, sit down with me? So in the sort of the hamster wheel of life, just to summarize, there are two things we can sort of ignore. Pain and the closet, or healing, relationships, the need for reconciliation, you name it, or the tenderness and presence of God waiting to spend time with us. So I'm not sure what metaphorical shoe in your life is too tight, or closet or living room there is, but I can't invite you enough just to pause, stop, reflect on maybe how fast you're moving, how busy you're moving, and the fact that maybe you need to allow the doctor into your life, or maybe you need to allow the spiritual lover of your life to take up residence in those areas that need some attention. Hope you have a great day. Hope you're able to experience some healing and some love from our Jesus, who's kind of waiting for you in the living room. Amen.